No, I'm 6. Okay, looks like time's up.
There you go. You're on.
We ready to go, Vaughn?
Yes, we're live now. Yes.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the State of the Village. It's January the 23rd, 2023. If you'll stand with me, we're going to have a moment of silence. Then we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'll ask the Mayor Pro Tem to lead us in an invocation.
Gracious Heavenly Father, we just come to you this evening in thanksgiving and awe of you for the many blessings that we've received and also the strength and endurance to take on the challenges and the grieving that we've experienced this last year. Father, thank you for guiding us. Jesus, you are the beacon to our path, that you would guide the village of Ruidoso and all the planning for the forthcoming year. All to your glory. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the Zia symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
All righty. I want to thank everybody for coming out on a Wonderland evening.
Yep.
And according to our weatherman, Judge Potter, you could get up to 7 inches. So the street crews are already out. They'll be working the streets. So thank you for the pictures and the texts already. Josh is here with us. We have with us most of the directors. Your city council is here, and our Mayor Pro Tem is also up here. So we want to keep this as pertinent and quick as possible because I've been told that it gets lengthy. So we're going to try to keep it around an hour. But first, I want to thank all the stakeholders of Ruidoso and the continued support that you've given us. So as we go through all of this, if you have any questions, be sure and write down something that you would like to ask. We're going to have a question and answer period afterwards. This will, if it's not already on, and knowing our PIO, it probably is already on the website. So you can go and check out all the things that we said. If there's anything that you'd like to delve into that we just touched the basics of tonight, you're welcome to contact us, and we will be happy to go through all those with you. So what we're going to do is go through each department real quick and have the priorities. The overall state of the village is one of resilience, strength, and optimism. This has never been more evident than in the days and weeks that followed the devastating McBride fire. The community stepped up to help our fellow residents that were affected by the disaster, and the donations and assistance that we received from around our great state was nothing short of amazing. You really see how the community came together for this, and then so many people from far and wide that sent money, that sent supplies, and things that was really overwhelming to the point that we couldn't take them anymore, but we were happy to share them with Mora in Las Vegas, New Mexico during their fire. This report will also cover the response to the McBride fire, our current financial position, accomplishments for 2022, priority recommendations for 2023, and the legislative priorities for 2023. If you don't know, the legislative session has already started. And so there's a lot of things going on north of I-40, so we'll be putting in our claims for things that we need for capital projects. I know there's some bills going through that we've got our eye on already. So I'm going to go to a slideshow that you'll be able to follow along with me, and this is where you can write down any questions that you might have. Okay. Okay, are we ready? Okay, before we talk about 2022, here's a brief look at our priorities for the upcoming year. Financial stability, capital projects, water, of course, workforce housing, of course, recreation, tourism, the police, and fire departments. Slide 3 here is for the McBride fire on April the 12th, 2022 at approximately 2:30 p.m. The McBride fire started on Warrior Drive. It eventually burned a total of 6,159 acres, 207 homes, and buildings, and claimed 2 lives. The fire was preceded by the wind event that was responsible for the fire, starting with wind gusts up to 90 miles an hour. The call about a fire starting on Warrior Drive came in at 2:30 p.m. At this time, all Ruidoso Fire Department personnel responded to the area to assist with the fire suppression. The fire moved up the side of the mountain towards McBride Drive and Ruidoso Middle School. Ruidoso Middle School was informed to shelter in place due to the movement of the fire. The village immediately activated the Emergency Operations Center, and the emergency manager contacted Lincoln County Emergency Management and Lincoln National Forest personnel for assistance with the fire. The response from the regional departments from Capitan, Bonito, Nogal, Ruidoso Downs, Hondo, Nogal, National Forest Hotshots, State Fire, and Mescalero was nothing short of excellent, as they all assisted with the fire. The response couldn't have been better from our point of view, and it makes it more clear evident as you go through this program tonight that you'll see how defensible space and thinning really makes a difference. Item number 4, is this slide 4? Okay. The Ruidoso Fire, Lincoln County Fire Units, National Forest Hotshots, and State Forestry units were on the initial attack for approximately 48 hours prior to a Type 1 incident management team from the National Forest Service assuming command on the fire on April the 14th, 2022. In the after-action report, and it's important that you know that we do these after any incident, we do after-action reports on what happened, the facts, and then, of course, what we could have done better to respond. It was determined that the village vehicles in the Ruidoso Fire Department, Public Works, and Parks and Rec departments need to be equipped with speaker systems. In addition, new generators are being purchased for the village, and 2 of the sirens in the alarm system are being replaced. So what we found out is that with the power that was lost, which was really unprecedented, cell towers, everything, communications were down. Even with the wind howling, we had people going door to door, driving through the affected areas, but it was deemed that it would be more responsive and better for the community if we were able to announce what was going on over loudspeakers from vehicles. So those are preparations that are being made. Financial stability. Without financial stability, we really don't have a lot, and there was a time the village was not the bastion of stability that we are today. And it's through a lot of hard work, planning, budgeting, staying on budget, and staying on plan. The village began the fiscal year 2023 with a cash balance of $71,153.38.
700 million.
71 million.
Yeah, 153,000.
What did I say?
You said $153.
Oh, did I? $71 million, $153,038, and is currently projecting revenues at $81,176,150, which this amounts to $152,329,188 of available cash to spend. And this is in a small community. We lost the internet.
No, we're switching to presentation mode.
I don't know, can they still hear me for the millions around the world?
I can hear you still.
Okay, thank you. We've lost the video. Is the presentation still up?
Yeah, the presentation is still up right now.
Okay, are we on financial stability?
That's what I'm seeing on the screen.
Okay, thank you. So this village that we live in, this small community of 8,500 plus, is nothing less than a big corporation. And so we have different departments, different divisions, budgets, planning, and everything that goes with that. Operating expenditures were cut based on a previous year's usage, but the village has been extremely lucky and has received many grants, which has increased our expenditure budget at the end of December to $122,747,800. And when I say lucky, there is a lot of luck, but without preparation and being very diligent in asking and doing the presentations that we've done, writing grants, all of those things, none of that would happen. But that was the focus of the village some years back, to go ahead and go after every grant that we could get. All capital outlay monies totaled $74,797,551, yielding $47,950,249 for operations. So this is anticipating an ending cash balance for fiscal year 2023 is projected to be at $29,581,000 and change. So you can see we're very healthy, very robust. All other revenue categories, especially gross receipts tax, are performing better than budgeted. In fact, as you'll see later, we're closing in on budgeted amounts. Do we know what's going on over here, guys?
For some reason, they're seeing it on their end and it's flipping through the slides, but it's gone from here, and do we know why?
So out there, we're going to move to debt financing. Is that coming up? I hope somebody's going to start talking to me.
Yes, it's there.
It is? Okay.
You're
I don't know who
on
you are, but thankfully you're there.
You're on
Stephanie, thank
financial
you.
sustainability continued.
Okay, so we should be on debt financing. The village issued a mortgage finance authority loan of $400,000. There you go. Okay. Thank you. Well, we lost it again. Okay, get me to the right one. I apologize, people. We've been doing this for 2 years, and we still have all shucks every time, so. Okay, so the village issued $400,000, was issued a loan to the tune of $400,000 from the MFAA for affordable housing development at 1114 Meacham. The village also received a legislative appropriation of $980,000, an American Rescue Plan grant for $1 million, and private donations of $220,000. And those donations were made up of $20,000 of P&M and around $200,000 from a private banking group in the Texas area, the DFW area, and in fact all across Texas. So we're very much appreciative that this is a lot of folks' second home in their recreation area, and they think enough of us to do things like this. The site for the houses were 17 mobile homes, pre-manufactured homes that you see we're almost finished with now, that's located on Meacham Drive by the Dollar General. And soon that's going to be completed, and the victims of the McBride fire will be the first ones that will be able to apply for that. Debt reduction, the village was also successful to use cash balances in the Ruidoso Wastewater Treatment Plant Enterprise Fund to eliminate debt service payments on our Series 2013 Gold Funding GO bonds and the Series 2013 Wastewater Refunding Revenue bonds. This will decrease the debt by $8,300,572 in July of 2023. So that's pretty remarkable, folks, that we did that, and we did it early. The money's already been set aside. We made that announcement earlier in 2022. Wastewater customers also received a suspension of $17 on the monthly wastewater rate. Is this slide 8? Okay, the Village of Ruidoso completed our 2022 audit in a timely manner, and is currently under review by the New Mexico State Auditor's Office, and we expect some details on that forthcoming, but we have a new auditor, so it may take a little while. But again, our finance department did a yeoman's job, stays on top of things, and we're very pleased with that. The overall financial health of the Village of Ruidoso remains strong, and both governmental and proprietary funds reported increases to the net positions. Gross receipts tax. While most municipalities lost gross receipt taxes As COVID-19 suffocated their economies, the village experienced growth. We had a dip in the beginning, but as many people wanted to get away from the big cities and come to the mountain, they did so. With the availability of inventory of our short-term rentals and hotels, we were able to accommodate them. GRT taxes have increased from short-term rentals, tourist activity, and village construction projects. And as you'll see later, the construction projects were by design. We started in these endeavors some years back, knowing that they would help with our GRT in the future, and it has paid off. The village has experienced a growth rate of 13.9% from calendar year 2019 to calendar year 2021. That's pretty substantial. And already this year, we're looking at an 8%, I believe, increase in GRT. Beginning July the 1st, 2022, cannabis businesses started remitting GRT monthly. Not only are the GRT taxes assessed on sales, but also a 12% excise tax. Of this percentage, the village and the county receive 33 and 33%, a third of the tax. Each month's distribution has averaged $27,909, and projected fiscal year 2023 funds will add $300,000 toward the general fund expenditures. So even with all the cannabis places that we have in town, we monitor this closely. We haven't seen a lot of the side effects that we all worried about, and some told us that we were worrying for nothing, and it seems to be. Now we'll move on to our lodgers tax. Lodgers tax receipts also began to exceed prior year amounts in April, and that's March sales. It's a lag in reporting and receiving, and continue to grow at a rate of 22.23% over calendar year 2021. That's very remarkable. And if you, in your business, you had those kind of increases, you would be amazed at how lucky, fortunate, and smart you are. And so this is something that we don't take for granted. It takes a lot of planning and a lot of work. But when we receive these monies from lodgers and GRT, that tells us that our businesses are doing good. That's the way the village receives our revenue. The county receives it from property tax, the village from GRT, from gross receipts tax. Because of this trend in fiscal year 2023, the Lodgers Tax Board projected revenues at $2.3 million level. As of December 2022, taxes collected are at 36% from meeting budgeted levels. And that ends in June. Is that right, Judy? So we're already nearly there, and we still got the best months to come. So the fund's net position remains strong and continues to grow. The outlook for 2023 is continued upward. Now, we have refocused on tourism, as you'll see later, to really focus on our business, our core business of, with all the doom and gloom that's being talked about in the national stage. Inflation, we're all feeling it. We know about the egg jokes and the gas jokes and all the other things that aren't jokes, but we're prepared for it. And so we are looking steadfast at how do we market to day trippers, to things, to getting people in to recreate, and so that they can forget about all the high prices and the cost of money these days. Capital projects. This is going to blow your mind. Many public infrastructure and facility projects. 2022 highlights. In 2022, the VOR, Village of Ruidoso, started work on over $45 million of capital projects. We currently have 67 projects between the design and construction phase. 67. And on the screen, you can see some projects that have been completed, and some are in progress. Cree Meadows Trail, completed. Village Hall Addition, the building we're in now, completed. Master Plan for Wingfield Park, completed. Master Plan Moon Mountain, completed. Center Street Improvement, completed. I hope you all enjoy the sidewalks and the new steps, and you're not worried about breaking an ankle going to Wingfield Park from Midtown. The Midtown Light Poles and Sound System, completed. Hopefully you enjoyed it during the Halloween and Christmas season with all the wonderful music. The FEMA bridge replacement is in progress. We're still working on that on the funding stages, and that is part of our capital outlay requests. Alto treatment plant rehabilitation, it's in progress. And that is such an important plant up there to learn, that we are able to process in more water, cleaner water, and be better stewards of the money that we've invested in it. FEMA restoration of the sewer line, in progress. Magistrate Court building, in progress. If you haven't seen it, drive by. It's getting really close. Horton Complex remodel, which includes the consolidated dispatch and the new municipal court, in progress, and it's getting real close. Looks nice. Finance, am I on the right one? Let me see. Did I get out of one? Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. As you can see on the slide, the workforce housing on the capital outlay requests is $1 million for workforce housing. Broadband fiber connectivity is $1 million. We've signed a contract, and this is some of the additional monies that we're looking for. Bridge replacement construction, $6 million. Those bridges have tripled, quadrupled in price since we started on this process. Sewer infrastructure construction improvements, $913,363. That's for armament on the sewer line. Outdoor recreation infrastructure development, $500,000. Okay, the finance continued. Is finished the sewer line in 2022 highlights, is finished the sewer line repair. We've actually repaired the sewer line. In the process of armoring the river from future flooding, as I just said, we have design on the 6 remaining bridges, and we expect to get started on those in 2023. Working on the utility master plan for water rates and sewer rates that we are obligated to do every 5 years. Priority 2023 is in Finance Department is to assist with completing the utility master plan and rate analysis, and we expect to have that done by the end of 2023. IT, Information Technology, 2022 highlights. The Village of Ruidoso Information Technology Department ensured that all village locations are on the Windstream Fiber Network. Conducted procurement to install fiber on the last mile to the home. So you've heard of first mile, last mile, now we have middle mile, and I think we've got all the miles in between figured out finally. We hired a consultant. We're currently working with Windstream to construct the project, and Wi-Fi was also installed at Wingfield Park. So this is we've been working on fiber, internet, broadband. It had different names when we started on it 10, 12 years ago. And some of the people in the community that sat in a lot of meetings right here in this very room, that signed up for service with businesses that said they would have us connectivity, broadband, and all the wonderful things that came with it. And they signed up and never got it. Well, we're finally to that stage, people, and it's taken a lot of your hard work and a lot of work of people that are no longer here. And so all of these things were started a long time ago, but it does take time, and we are completing the jobs. Priorities for 2023 is evaluate the current phone system. We've had a lot of hard problems with our phones going down. And it's been determined that there's a new plan that's needed. We're in the process to decrease the number of times that the phones are out of service. It's ridiculous in this time and age that we still have our phones out. And so we understand your frustration because I do get calls that they can't get a hold of City Hall, but they can get a hold of me through Verizon. So we're taking measures to make sure that that doesn't happen. Human Resources, the Human Resource Department. 2022 highlights is established a safety and risk program to provide safety awareness training to all employees and to mitigate on-the-job hazards, to minimize accidents and ensure compliance with local, state, and federal safety regulation. And it is so important, just the employees that we have are the backbone of this community that are able to make these things happen. And so sometime back, we made a decision to have an in-house safety man or safety department that checks on our jobs, reminds people to wear their hard hats, their safety glasses, to look at the jobs to make sure we have site control and that we have the safety barriers and all those things, and that's to protect your employees. Priorities for 2023 is a partnership with ENMU, Ruidoso, to bring in specialized training for our employees. For example, is the CDL program, because we need CDL drivers like everybody needs CDL drivers. We also have a wildland fire training academy, and we're training for level 3 and 4 water individuals that there's a shortage of across the country, the state. Fortunately, we have ours here, and we're so proud to have them. Community development. Big department, a lot of planning. This is the one that planning and zoning is housed in, short-term rentals. 2022 highlights, workforce housing. The highest priority community development project for 2022 was to provide housing for those families that were displaced by the McBride fire. 18 manufactured homes were purchased using the donation grants and local funds I mentioned earlier. These homes will be held permanently in the Village of Ruidoso Housing Trust Fund as long-term rentals. And we've done that at an affordable rate, and I think we're the first one that is starting a housing enterprise fund. We've been told that we are. That is similar to the water, sewer, solid waste, and all of those others that we're putting in housing so that profits off of that can be turned back into housing. But it has also meant that we're able to keep it at prices that people can afford. And so this is our first step off into it in a big way. And like I said, we hope to have people there in the homes within hopefully another month and a half. The village is continuing to work with a company called Mesa Apartments to reapply for the 9% tax credits from the New Mexico Mortgage Finance Authority. If successful, up to 70 apartments will be developed at the 1104 Meacham Drive. That's the property that is on the same side of Meacham as P&M. The village purchased that property, and we missed getting in that 9% tax credit program just by a little bit last year. We've made endeavors into legislation that gives equal access to small communities like ours. We always get beat out by the big boys, Albuquerque, Las Cruces, Rio Rancho, those kind of people. So we're going after it to get ours for you. Priorities for 2023 is the E911 addressing system. Boy, that was a stub our toe endeavor to right off the bat. E911 street addressing planning and implementation to correct and improve the village emergency response and disaster preparedness. A valid E911 physical address is required for all properties, residences, occupied structures, and our businesses for emergency service personnel to respond quickly and efficiently. We didn't think that sounded like too hard of a nut to crack, and we were totally wrong. We misfired on that one. We've since extended many apologies. We have an RFP going out for a professional company to help us rectify some of the hurdles that we have. Examples are, if you have a federal license, a state license, we can usually handle the state licenses, but some of the federal licenses take 2 and 3 years to get those renewed. And we're not about to try to put a local business out over this. And so we're working hard to get that addressed. Priorities for 2023 is the facade improvement grant. This was funded by the New Mexico Legislative Funds. An investment of $230,000 will be provided to businesses in the Midtown area. It will enhance and revitalize parts of the Sudderth Corridor, Midtown. All work will be complete by the beginning of the summer of 2023. I believe that's in June. Is that right, Ron? And we had a committee that went through it and worked diligently to look at all the applications. And how many did we award? 20, Ron?
We awarded 11 grant
Out
applications.
of 27?
Yes.
Something
around
like
there.
that. And the 11 were awarded because they were complete. They were thoughtful, and it's about the facades. It can be the paint. It can be signage. It can be the door. There's a lot of things it can be. And the grants were up to $40,000. And so we're very proud of the businesses that received those. And we're looking forward to getting those done. And it was meant that it had to be done quickly. And so those folks, we've signed the paperwork, and most of them have picked it up. Okay, here's the big one. Tourism. Why do y'all bring so many people to town? You hear that?
Yeah, it's constant.
That's our bread and butter. That's who we are, is tourism. And we're thankful for the tourists. We're thankful for the part-timers, the folks that own property here that pay property taxes, water bills, solid waste, and all the other things. And we're very happy to have those folks. The 2022 highlights for Team Tourism. It's a collaborative collective of municipal officials, community stakeholders, and communications professionals tasked to inform, connect, inspire, and drive greater value and economic impact for the village and its community members. New Mexico Tourism Department Co-op Marketing Program, and this was something that we really never saw much use for because they didn't do a whole lot. They went to big communities, the Albuquerques, the Las Cruces, and things like that. But for the past 2 years, Team Tourism has been able to leverage a partnership with the New Mexico Tourism Department in co-op marketing and advertising campaigns. The NMTD matched funds put forth by the village, generating $104,000 in matching funds in 2021, and an 82% increase in 2022 to $553,062. This investment in co-op funds allowed the overall media budget for the village to exceed $1 million. So there's a lot of growth there, a lot of potential, and that shows just how vigilant that our community partners and whatnot in Team Tourism is. Smart people. When you include the fire recovery funds invested after the McBride fire, the total New Mexico Tourism Department investment in Ruidoso Tourism in 2022 was $630,000. The only other municipality that received more was Albuquerque. And they get it because they're Albuquerque.
Yep.
The Ruidoso Adventure Tours, hopefully you're all familiar with that by now. Once again, it was a big success, and we saw a healthy increase over the previous year. The third annual 2023 Ruidoso Adventure Tours will kick off on March the 11th, 2023. We got some cool and exciting prizes, and please participate in that. We have locals that have won some awesome prizes. Priorities for 2023, currently in the process of developing a comprehensive 5-year marketing plan. In all the years that I served on the tourism board, lodgers tax, we never had a comprehensive plan. And we would do a endeavor every year into strategies and things like that, markets. But we decided it was high time that we had a comprehensive plan. And so we sent out and have a company that's working on that. Goal is to continue to increase lodgers tax revenue, to identify and target visitor segments and engage them before, during, and after their stays by providing them with positive experiences. And so a lot of this is technical stuff. It's data driven, but we have the right people on the job, and we're looking forward to 2023. Next slide. Parks and Recreation. You see these folks, they're out there doing it all. Hopefully you enjoyed the Midtown festivities with the pumpkin roll and the Halloween and all of that. And then most assuredly the Christmas lights, the music, Wingfield Park, all the different things. That department, again, did a wonderful job. The 2022 highlights, Parks and Recreation continue to make investments and strides in improving the quality of life for Ruidoso residents and visitors. Most significant accomplishment for 2022 was the completion of the master plans for Moon Mountain, White Mountain Sports Complex, and Wingfield Park. You can't do anything if you don't have a plan. And so now that we have a plan, these things will be gone after through grant funding. And so we're working steadfastly on that. The Ride Ruidoso Week, this event is the first time event. We're going to do it again because it was so successful. This event raised over $18,000 each for Toys for Tots, Lincoln County Boys and Girls Club, the Lincoln County Community Foundation, some wonderful people there, Lincoln County Shelter Fund, and the Ruidoso Housing Trust Fund. That's a lot of money from a first-time event that we were able to work in conjunction with the RMA and other folks in the community. The ice skating rink is now ours. We purchased one. It's the bigger one, and it fits perfectly under the pavilion. In fact, we got one more week. that you can go ice skating. So I don't know about all this snow, but you got 1 week. And it serves visitors and residents, and it'll be there for years to come. We take that revenue and we put this back into Parks and Rec things, like the Whibbit. You know, that's another summer venture that we have. Improve and enhance amenities. Created the Cree Meadows Trail and the trail system at Alto Lake. Hopefully you guys get to use that. But those are some wonderful walking paths that are low impact, but you get out and see nature's wonderland. We enhanced amenities at Alto Lake, including a boat dock. I know there's one old fisherman that used to talk to us. God bless him, he passed away. But he always wanted a boat dock, and he always wanted some ADA, and we're getting all of that. So the boat dock, the kids' pond at Alto, where we'll have stocking and fishing, and it's what Rodney, our retired Parks and Rec director, said, and kids of all ages could do that. Pedestrian bridge, picnic tables, and a split rail fence. Also improvements at Grindstone Lake will include a new concrete boat ramp and a new Whibbit climbing wall and slide. So a lot of big things for this summer coming up. 2023 priorities: Grindstone Lake improvements, large picnic pavilion, new picnic tables, 2 restroom facilities, an ADA sidewalk, park benches, and paved parking lot. We're not going to know what to do with paved parking lot. It's going to be good. And of course, we've looked at runoff and all those things, how it affects, so we've done our homework. Eagle Creek, that ski run road, a new state-of-the-art 18-hole disc golf course. Well, I don't know if y'all know it, but we are becoming quite fastly the disc golf course capital of New Mexico and hopefully of the southern part of the United States. And we have some locals that give their all to that, and we really appreciate that. Wayfinding signage to assist visitors, including the village recreational assets. So you'll be able to see where all these things are, how to get to Wingfield Park, directional sign, and it'll all be cohesive with what's going on in the Ruidoso Midtown Association and all those. But this is something that's been needed for a long time. Finally getting around to it. Maybe we can get a new sign out in front of Village Hall.
That's what I was going to say.
Man, that one out
When
there
you
looks
get
pretty bad.
It does.
Yeah, like a model with a big word on her nose. So, the community center. Who has not been to the community center? They always do a wonderful job. The folks that run that over there do a wonderful job for the community, give so many outlets for so many different people. But it is really a hub for our citizens. 2022 highlights through their work. The improvement included installation of new insulation that was damaged from all the leaky roof that we had previously. New ceiling tiles, upgraded the LED lighting, which were all made possible by a grant from the New Mexico Aging and Long-Term Services Capital Outlay Department. Good job, guys. A total of 224 RSVP volunteers contributed 17,220 hours of service to nonprofit stations in 2022, allowing for a cost savings of $395,199, and that's roughly $29.95 an hour to these areas. Many of these individuals travel seasonally from neighboring states, living in Ruidoso and contributing to the economy. So what I'm telling you is these part-timers that come in and stay with us 4 or 5 months, that have property here, volunteer their time and do a lot of work. And quite honestly, that is a wonderful department with all of those folks that are over there. Sustainable water. We never talk about anything without sustainable water. 2022 highlights. The Department the Water and Sewer Department completed the Town and Country Water, Sewer, and Street Project, eliminating the old 4-inch line that has been extended over the years and was not up to code. These funds were obtained from a cocktail of funding that included the Community Development Block Grant, which started out at $750,000. Yep. We spent a lot more money than that up there, but now we have new streets, rollover curbs, sewer, water, and it opens up a new development in that area up there. So I know those folks over there, and if you haven't been up there, that's on Chavez Street, Mary Street, and those areas up there. We contracted with Wash Water Services to conduct water line leak detection service throughout the village to be a better steward of our water services. So these are the folks that you see going around. It looks like a metal detector kind of with the orange vest or yellow vest on that are walking up and down the side of the roads. They're looking and listening. That's what those are, listening for water leaks so that we can highlight them, and then the water department, those guys get on it, and we put it in our plan. Utility GPS updated as part of our water loss management plan. All valves and fire hydrants were GPS mapped and stored in a geodatabase. With any detected leaks, referred to the water distribution crews for repair. A master plan and rate analysis for water and wastewater utilities begin in 2022 and is expected to be completed in 2023. We mentioned that earlier, but it is a big deal and it will take some time. In 2022, the Village of Ruidoso completed the Alto Crest water treatment plant improvements. And folks, this is where we get 60 to 70% of our water is out of that from our wells and that treatment plant there. So that's how important that is, and that plant looks beautiful. Next slide. This is also with sustainable water. The village also completed the cleaning of the Grindstone Dam gallery drains. That'll mean a lot to some people, but those some of the maintenance that we need to take care of, that this country's known for not taking care of our infrastructure. Well, this is another example of how the village is taking care of our infrastructure by cleaning these drains, and it helps reduce the hydrostatic pressure on Grindstone Dam, and it helps to eliminate deficiency identified by the Grindstone Dam inspection from the Office of the State Engineers. And it's just another continuation, again, of our keeping our infrastructure strong. Water tanks are consistently and constantly inspected, and we maintain and upgrade them regularly. The Ruidoso wastewater treatment plant, we paid off our debts and just received our 5-year NPDES certificate. This is the certificate that allows us to discharge water back into the Rio Ruidoso, averaging about 1.5 million gallons a day. We are constantly obtaining grants to help with fund projects and are adding solar to decrease operational costs. So we've been looking at this for some years. We've made moves in that direction, have contracted with an independent contractor, and are moving forward on solar panels that will help offset the expenses that we see on that wastewater treatment plant. Because of the type of plant that we have, we use a lot of energy out there. So we're expected to reduce, hopefully, the energy bill, the electrical bill, by about $500,000. So bear with us on that, but that's some good things coming. Watershed, the funding was secured for hazard mitigation and fish habitat structures along Robin Road. A total of 24 in-stream structures were created with natural materials. These structures should help mitigate the damage caused by the 100-year flood event that we seem to have every 4 or 5 years and create a supportive natural habitat for the Rio Ruidoso fish populations. This is just one of a variety of issues that we work with the New Mexico Environmental Department Surface Water Quality Bureau. So we have a good relationship with those guys, and it's going to be exciting when we do get some fish habitat in that river. That people can actually, the public will actually be able to go down there and fish. I remember as a kid, you could do that. You don't see that much more. But we do have a new fishing store in town, so we're excited.
We do. And reference to that location, that's known as Two Rivers Park.
Two Rivers Park, yes. A lot of creative grant writing, looking at different water. There's money out there, you just got to know how to find it. And so we work hard on finding it. 2023 priorities is the Ruidoso wastewater treatment plant, the 5-year master plan, and the facilities CIP, capital improvement project, will also be completed in 2023. Am I on the right?
Yes.
Okay. Completion and closeout of phase 2 and 3 of the FEMA sewer hazard mitigation plan. So help us God. Councilor Coughlin always says the kids born that year will be graduating from college or maybe sitting on the council by the time we get that completed. but we've never stopped, and we're getting closer all the time. To increase water protection within the Eagle Creek area, Ski Run Road. To complete the Brown and Fault Well rehab project, I don't mean diddly-de-all, but it's a big deal. A lot of money goes into that. There's a lot of water production there. We're just rehabbing our wells. And also rehabilitation of the Upper Canyon surface diversion, which is how we are able to fill up Grindstone Lake. Just with the rain events and time and age, this thing constantly fills up with silt, and the majority of the time we're unable to use it. So we are in the process of fixing it. Streets. Great department, they're out there right now clearing the roads for you as we speak so that they will be clear and manageable for you when you go to work in the morning. 2022 highlights: completed the MAP, which is Municipal Arterial Grant Program, Phase 2, Grindstone. Assisted Color Paving, which was the paving company that we used on our projects and also the state used on Meacham. Very efficient company. They have a patented process, and we were so happy to have them. But we assisted Color Paving with the completion of resurfacing of Gavilan Canyon Road, Warrior Drive, Paradise Canyon Road. And those of you that remember, that were paying attention, we did a joint venture with the county on Gavilan Canyon Road, which was unheard of at the time. And so it looks good when the municipalities are able to work with the county and vice versa. So we're very happy that we were able to complete that in a record amount of time. 2023 priorities is finishing the Resort Drive, D Drive, and Upper Suttereth MAP project, which must be completed by June 2023. So Josh and his guys have got a job to do because you can't pave when it's cold. The temperature has to be right. So when they get started, they will be putting it down. The repaving of Hull Road will begin in the spring, as will Reese Drive and Service Road. We will be repaving those. For those of you who don't know where that's at, that's in front and back of Horton Complex. That'll be on the deal to get done also. Ongoing drainage issues will also be addressed as efficiently as possible. Solid waste. And there's no doubt this is the best department in the county. Solid waste, second to none in the county. If you don't believe me, just ask your neighbors in the county. They do a wonderful job. So when you're able to rake your pine needles, pull your slash, your limbs to in front of your house, and they're able to go out there with grappling trucks and pick it up and take care of it for you, that's a level of service that we provide here at the village because that's what you asked for. But they do a great job, Jerry. Thank you very much. Jerry's always running that department, and he sure needs a mechanic because he's also fixing trucks. So thank you to your guys and gals over there. They do a wonderful job. In 2022, they purchased 100 new dumpsters. You don't think about that, but that's a lot of dumpsters. They're not cheap. And this is part of that assessing that we're doing on rate studies. Is there a better way to do it? And we haven't found a better way yet. 2023 priorities is replacement of the container delivery truck and trailer for efficient servicing and trade out of trash cans. To maintain dumpster inventory will also be purchased and replaced. So the supply chain is everywhere, and these guys are all on top of it so that we can have nice looking dump. There's nothing like having a beautiful house and having a big crappy dumpster right in front of it. So we're really appreciative of these guys that they take care of that stuff and paint them and fix them and get pretty creative on how to keep them level. Convention Center. The Ruidoso Convention Center is another example of why it's important to maintain our critical assets. Just as we talked about before with roads, water services, the dam, 2022 highlights the completion of critical capital improvements was the addition of specialized acoustic tiles in the exhibit hall that significantly improves the sound in there. When we've had events over there over the years, it sounded like the inside of a doghouse. There's a lot of echoing and whatnot going on. It sounds great now. So kudos to those folks that they did a wonderful job. A new mechanical bay door was installed, enhancing the center's ability to do events quicker. Used to, we had a chain. That door was 20-something years old that you pulled up and down. This one is automatic. So it helps support the large-scale load-off and load-ons. And it was very evident during the McBride fire when we were bringing in supplies right and left of just how that door was really in need of some replacement. Renovations of rooms 4, 5, and 6. So the next time you go to the convention center to an event, pay attention to look what, people don't really notice it because it looks good. Okay? We always were happy when you never looked up. But now then you can look up, okay? Because we fixed all the pain areas, the leaks, all those different things, and we've done a wonderful job over there. Also replaced the damaged door on the south side of the building. You couldn't hardly get open, and if you did, you couldn't get closed. Replaced all the fluorescent lights in exhibit hall in rooms 1, 2, and 3 with energy-efficient LED fixtures and bulbs. We did a study on that to see if it was, cost-effective to do it, and it was, and so we did. 2023 priorities. We'll work with the village emergency management team and other departments to enhance the facility's capability to serve as primary evacuation center for the region. We found that out pretty quick when we evacuated folks to the convention center, that it was not, we're just better than that. We didn't need folks on oxygen in their later years in life on a cot and in the middle of a big floor. So we made the change at that point to put them in hotels. And we're very focused on making sure that we have better amenities. You know, you need bathrooms, you need showers, you need things like that. So we're working on it. That's a priority. Installing a backup generator. Okay, that was evident then too. And it's not a little generator. Coordinating with the Parks and Recreation Department to plan additional restroom and shower amenities for use during those emergencies. So that's going to be really important. Somebody wrote yes. Thank you. Oh, Hooker wrote that? Yeah, if you can't be with the team, just mess with the team, Hooker. Okay, KRUI, for all the news you can use. The Mountain radio station was a gift they kept on giving, and we now have it where we're moving forward. 2022 highlights, KRUI continues to cement itself as a vital resource and a source of information for the village. We've added more live programming to the schedule, including live streaming from different events. Right now, we are on the radio, 1490 radio. So during the snowstorms, if you have any questions, you want to know what's going on, tune in. Also, you can get it on your internet. All you got to do is go to your favorite browser, put in 1490 KRUI, The Mountain, and we have live shows and we have archive shows. So if you miss something and you want to go back, did he really say that? You can find out. 2023 priorities. We have a show every Monday morning, Monday with the mayor from 8 to 10 a.m. Tune in so you can find out what's going on. 2023 priorities is focus on growing advertising revenue by hiring a commission-based sales director for the station. We get inquiries all the time, can I advertise? And yes, you can, and we're going to have that set up. And I think it'll be a good job for someone. We've got several people in mind. And have at least 2 new local interest programs that will be established. These will include cultural and natural history program, created in conjunction with the staff and volunteers of the Wingfield House Heritage Center. We're getting ready to talk about this one. This is a favorite of many of us. If you don't know what the Wingfield House Heritage Center is, it's right next to Ace Hardware. It's the old house. It's been many different things over the years, but what it started out was a house, a home for one of our founding families. And so it was the center of activity for many years, back when there was no paving, there was no Sloskis. Can you believe a time when there was no Sloskis, no Cinnabon, none of that there. And that was the entrance to Upper Canyon. So when Johnny went off to war, Susie and Billy got married, there was all kinds of things like that, and you heard the pitter-patter of little Susan Letterman's feet on the floor. So anyway, we've done a lot of things at there. So in 2022, we completed phase 1 of the restoration. We did the best we could to maintain the original appearance. And so we're happy that we were able to grasp that, maybe except for the red metal roof. Began phase 2 of restoration. The estimated completion date for phase 2 is estimated to be in the spring of 2023, and we can't wait. Also approved was the hiring of a full-time facility curator, and we're going to tell you why. In 2023, priorities, we want to open the facility May 2023. Design, fabrication, and installation of permanent exhibits. Development of an interpretive and programming plan to include public lectures, tours, concerts, and more. We basically want this to be a meeting place for the community. We do so many plannings. We started with a comprehensive plan that so many of you were involved in that took us so long to get. That is an overall encompassing plan of what is the Village of Ruidoso and where do we want to go. And then we go into master plans, strategic plans, tactical plans, all these things so that we're able to complete the tasks at hand. And, excuse me, that was my accountant. So all of these things are being made to give Ruidoso a sense of itself. And all the talk of the Lincoln County War, you don't really hear the Village of Ruidoso mentioned. And when you're talking, you read the history of Billy the Kid, the regulators, you don't hear about Ruidoso. But we were here. It was here. Just went incorporated till 1948. So we want to have a sense of history, not just of the people that were here, the founding families. We're going to have that. Got a lot of pictures. Thank you very much, folks. You sent in a lot of different things to us. But also the geology of what goes on around here. And so that people understand how do we get our water resources. You know, because a lot of it's volcanic, granite, those type of things. But also talk about the indigenous people that have been coming over here for multi-millennia. Now then they're talking about 20,000 years ago. I don't know about all that. But I do know that we're finding, digs. We have archaeologists. In fact, we're going to have the second archaeologist convention this summer here in Ruidoso. So this is another thing that adds to the delight of the Village of Ruidoso. So a lot of these things will be encompassed in this little Wingfield house that will be a community center that hopefully will have artist openings and we'll have hopefully some local winery and brewery and a little music and people checking out things. But it's a super exciting time to find out the history of Ruidoso to tie into the plans of the future. So we'll know where we've been and where we're going. Public library. If you didn't know, this is an unbelievable department. Thank you, Diane, and your staff. We did a survey talking to many visitors and tourists. And I say visitors because we have people that pay taxes here, that own property here, and then we have tourists that come up for a weekend or a week. But we saw how many of them reach out to get the resources of the community and go to the library. To use the internet, for whatever reason, it's a cheap way to entertain your children. And our library does a job second to none with highlighting educational opportunities, youth programming. They've added youth media in 2022, materials that are diverse and inclusive for all youth demographics. We're in the process in 2022. Did we get it, the air conditioner replaced? It's on its way. Yeah, we got the money, honey, but we still are waiting on the supply chain to get here. So that's coming. The heating and cooling system, we've replaced the carpet and vinyl flooring in the youth services area. It needed it. In 2023, the priorities will strive to provide rich cultural, educational, and recreational programming through a reimagined library. And I think you need to go by and check it out because everybody's talking about culture, and most of us think, what culture do I have? Well, the culture of Ruidoso, that's a culture. How do we get here? Who were the people that started it? And that's what we're going to do with the Wingfield House, and the library is going to play an important part of that. Provide a go-to public space influenced by library programming and events by providing resources and connections to housing, education, employment, health, general assistance, the community a free and safe environment to learn, grow, and thrive. And they do that for so many people. If you could just see some of the folks that they've helped, whether it's adult literacy, you can only go so far as you can read. And so they do so many different things for those people that really need it. And also the children. We always have to throw the children in there. Public safety, police department, department of the year, the Village of Ruidoso voted on by the other village employees. So we congratulate Chief Chavez And we have Deputy Chief Mentor over here for the work that they've done in 2022. Some of the highlights, the police department successfully worked with the village of Ruidoso to better engage citizens outside of traditional law enforcement roles. Community policing. It became a catchphrase all across the United States, but nobody knew what it meant. Well, we put a definition to it, and we know what community policing means to us. And we appreciate our officers that are getting involved in coaching wrestling, baseball, basketball, and involving themselves in the community, that they're not standoffish, that they go and say hi. We want all the businesses in Midtown to know their police officers. And everybody sees Sal out here at the grade school directing traffic. So we have a new model, and our police officers are right in the middle of that, leading the way. They've conducted 2 citizens academies, and they're getting ready to have a third one that'll start taking applications in March. Oh, they're taking applications now. And so they don't take any more than 20. So if you ever want to learn, and so many detractors from the police department that have signed up with one mission after the course, because it's lengthy, encompassing, it gets to see the other side of what's going on, had a change of heart. And they understand better about what it takes to be a police officer, especially in this day and time. So I'd implore you, if you have some time on your Thursday nights, sign up and come, because it'll be well worth your time. Let me see, the fire department, 2022 highlights. They responded to 1,905 calls. That's a little community, a lot of calls. That we had a change in command from Cody Thetford, who retired, to Joe Kasobowski, was named to replace him, and he's doing a great job. He was hired as the fire chief. We also hired an assistant, Fire Chief Ross Coleman. Maintained our insurance services office. That's your ISO rating. It's still the number 2. The rating reflects how the village of Ruidoso and the Ruidoso Fire Department respond to emergencies and reduces community risk. This rating is vital to the public and emergency responders' safety. It also affects the cost of homeowners' insurance premiums to the community. So we have a lot of areas that on one side of the road, your village, on the other side, your county. If you've ever compared your insurance rates, you'll see the difference. But that has to do with the infrastructure, the vehicles, the trucks, the fire hydrants, the water storage that we have, and the training that we provide. Next slide. Priorities for 2023 for our police department: to receive accreditation through the New Mexico Municipal League, upgrading body-worn cameras for officers. I said upgrading. We already have them, but we're upgrading. Continuation of a retention plan for officers and dispatchers. It is very difficult in this day and age to find police officers, dispatchers. It's a critical job. Sometimes it's very thankless, but we do everything we can to retain them, and hopefully we will. 2023 for fire, updating one of the department's top 6 wildland fire truck pumping systems. All you need to know is we're investing a lot of money, because you know the difference between the top 6 and the top 1. Purchase a new top 6 wildland fire truck. These are ones that work here. You don't show them up in parades in New York City. These are things that work off-road, that have a clearance and all the other things to get where we need to go. We work closely with the Village Forestry Department to improve and implement the Community Risk Reduction Program, Defensible Space, replacement of 2 new sirens on the emergency notification system. The Sierra Blanca Regional Airport, it's been there. We have a little treasure out there that a lot of folks don't even know about. In 2022, Village purchased 2 additional hangars from individuals for daily and weekly rentals for visiting aircraft to generate revenue. Created an airport advisory board made up of people that use the airport, that live here full-time, and some that don't, that are visitors. Preliminary engineering report and design of a runway 1230 was completed with the contractor who was awarded the bid to complete the project. In 2023, priorities: reconstruction of runway 1230 and taxi B in late spring. We have grants that total up to over $7 million that we're in possession of, that we'll be starting on that as soon as weather permits. Also keeping in mind that we have to work around the Memorial Day schedule when everybody comes to town, all the racetrack folks flying in their jets and their airplanes. So we want to make sure that we can accommodate all those. We work with state aviation and the FAA on replacing firefighting apparatus and snow removal equipment, and with the 139 certification. And that's something that not all airports have. Begin the review and update of the airport master plan that this group that we put together is helping us work on the things. What do you want your airport to look like? What should it be able to do? And this is our master plan, the start of it. So we're looking forward to getting that completed. And again, then we'll have to put money to it, a budget, and go after grants. And I also got a notification today, thank you, Jenny, that Senator Munoz is carrying a Senate bill for airports, and in it, Ruidoso is listed at about $9.7 million. So we're going to support the heck out of that one. Forestry, 2022 highlights. Ruidoso is one of the few municipalities with a dedicated forestry department. Completed 416.5 acres of thinning on village property, including 370 acres at Sierra Blanca Regional Airport and 36.5 acres adjacent to Fire Station 1. And made a big difference over there behind Fire Station 1, the tennis courts. If you go by there, that's what good thinning looks like. You still have all your trees, but you have space. And then that way, if, I don't know, it's never if, it's when, we do have a fire, this is the way we want the whole village to look, thinned and ready. The 5,736 acre McBride fire graphically highlighted the benefits of treating forest fuels to mitigate the threat and control of wildfire. The contrast between treated areas and untreated areas is dynamic. Therefore, it is critical for residents to make sure that they maintain a defensible space around their home. So when Dick and his guys, Eric and those guys, Cash, those guys come around and they're talking about defensible space, it's not that they hate your trees or they want you to spend a lot of money. It's safety. And a lot of times we become lackadaisical in looking at the beauty that we have here in nature's playground. And I know you're not feeding the animals anymore, but you're watching them. They're everywhere. And so these are things that we look at. We just need to be better stewards of the forest and thin it. So please be compliant and thin your forest. If you need help because it is expensive sometimes, let us know. We work with you on time, but we need you to get started. 2023 priorities for the forestry department include thinning at least 60 acres of village-owned property to bring them back into compliance, and the ordinance is 42-80. The certification of approximately 900 properties in the selected implementation area. That's what I was talking about. Please comply with that if you would. I know it's not a cool thing to say about complying these days. You got to fight the man. Well, we're on the same team. So please look at it. It's for all of our good. They will be removing reported hazard trees and thinning the village right-of-way. So in closing, our communities endured the hardships created by the devastation of the McBride fire in 2022. However, the community also stepped up and came together to help out in the aftermath. It was just unbelievable. And I believe that's what this community is all about. At least that's what it represents to me. But we were overwhelmed by the generosity of people in the community. Some ball humbuggers that you would never think cared about anything were shelling out money as fast as they could get their checkbooks, loaning vehicles, putting people up. And then, of course, we have the people we see every day that are always donating their time, their energy, and their resources to this village. But it's something that I'm very proud of, and you should be too. And we talked a little bit about the RSVP program. We have committees for everything at the village, whether it's Parks and Rec, the forestry, Keep Ruidosa Beautiful, planning and zoning, lodgers tax, on and on and on. And they're all full. And those are all unpaid positions that people volunteer for, to give of their time, to do the homework, to make their suggestions to the council, to make things happen. And so all of these 67 different projects that we're working on, we couldn't do it without you. Okay, and that's the truth. We have a room full of people here, village people, and we have folks watching. But we're so proud of the efforts that everyone puts in, but it makes the village very unique. I talk to mayors and people all over the state. They do not get that type of participation. So we live in a unique place. You should be proud of that. There's nothing wrong with being prideful in this. We do a good job, but we couldn't do it without you. We thank you for your support. Continue to support us. When you think that we have a deficiency, we don't mind you letting us know. That's why we have the radio show, Monday with the Mayor, on 1490 AM from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. I say that all the time. I think I just got a call from the school system that they're canceling school tomorrow. 2-hour delay, okay. So, see, I'm wrong often, but I get corrected often. This is not a one-man, two-man, three-man, four-man show. When I say man, I include women, children, and those of you that don't know what you are. It makes a lot to go this village around and to be successful like it is. And so we're very proud of what we have. We do have openings. So if you're looking for a career, it's a great career. A lot of good benefits and a lot of things that you can see. So together we can work towards a brighter future that will help us achieve our goals in 2023. That will not only have a near-term impact for our residents, but it will positively affect generations to come. And I want to thank my wife. I always forget her. Tracy, she's been unwavering in her support. She always makes sure when we have the meetings, the phone calls I get at home, the many conversations that we have when we go out to eat, the grocery store stops that I never get past the front door. She's very supportive and understanding, and I thank you for that, Tracy. I appreciate you, honey. And also to your village council, we have a very unique council that it is the most unselfish group that I've dealt with, honestly. There's not a mimi bone in any of their bodies. And so it's with all due respect, I say thank you to you folks because you do your homework. You show up to the meetings. You listen to your people in the village, which I didn't know for a while were called constituents. I didn't really understand what politicians talk about. But you listen to your community, and you listen to the people that come into the community, and you bring things to the attention of the different department heads. So we appreciate all that you do. And so that is what makes up this village to be the best that we can possibly be. Now then, we'll move into the question and answer. We'll open up the floor, so if you'll bring us back online. And if you have a question, Yvonne will recognize you. If you have something you don't want to ask about, there's some people out there that are a little shy. You're more than welcome to call Village Hall and engage with us, and we can get it through an email, or we can actually, are you going to take that off? Okay, we're almost there. All right. Okay. Is there anybody in the audience that has a question, comment? Okay. I don't see anybody. And if you think of one that something's asked, you're welcome to ask again. Yvonne, do you see anybody with their hand raised up?
No comments or hand raised on Zoom.
Come on, people. I can't believe it. So I'm not going to waste anybody's time that's here. If you don't have any questions, then obviously we did a good job. Again, this will all be online. But we do have directors here to answer any question in the event that I'm not able.
Remind everybody of our strategic planning meetings.
Yes, we have strategic planning starting tomorrow, 8 a.m. You can come in and listen. It's very insightful, boring in some cases, but very informative. And this is where we talk to every department head. We get the information. and this is how we're able to complete the goals that we have. So it'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 a.m. till 3. Is that right, Amon?
It starts at 8 a.m. tomorrow till 5.
Oh.
On Wednesday, it starts at 9 right after the special meeting till 5. And Thursday, if we need to, just.
Oh, I guess I got that totally wrong, but it's 8 to 5, 9 to 3,
8 to 5, 9 to 5.
9 to 5, and then whatever we got to do on Thursday.
Yes.
Okay. So it's informative. Be informed, because you look silly when you get mad about something, and we call those the Rosanna Anadanophiles, and I've got one about a foot thick that after we explain it to them, they go, oh, never mind. So if we're not working on it, and we should be, please let us know. But there's no questions still? Okay, well then we're going to adjourn this meeting. Thank you for everybody attending. Thanking for you to those that watched through the internet and the staff that was available for questions that weren't asked. Obviously, you've done a good job. The street crews will be out in full force, and drive safe. Thank you.
Good job, Mayor.